Ha! Unnecessarily dramatic music. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. We are back. We are still in version 0.16, and we are still attempting to successfully land on Minmus and return safely back to Kerbin. So that is exactly what we are going to try again today. Let me get into the game, just cut out all the fluff, and introduce you to my newest creation, the Curiosity 5 Heavy. And this guy is a heavy rocket indeed. Very similar design to the normal Curiosity 5 that I last attempted a Minmus landing with, but instead of the normal liquid fuel boosters, I've just strapped on basically 4 more of my first stage here, my main stage. The name kind of comes from, for those of you who are aware of spaceflight, real-life spaceflight, there's a couple heavy variants of current rockets, such as the Delta 5, which is what spacecraft like the Juno mission were launched on. There's also the Delta 5 Heavy. There's also SpaceX has their Falcon 9. There's now the Falcon 9 Heavy. And basically what they do is they have, if the Falcon 9 is just this single rocket, they basically just strap on 2 duplicate Falcon 9s to the sides and call it the heavy variant of the booster. It's kind of a crazy concept, and I've taken that to the next level by adding actually 4 more of my main engines, our main rocket, what are these called, stages. So we're going to try this out. I've also given myself an additional fuel tank up top. I do realize I had some issues staying vertical while I was trying to land on Minmus before. I think I can mitigate that by having a little bit more control and actually purposefully landing on some of those smoother ice plains as opposed to on the mountaintops that are not quite horizontal. So I think I'll be all right in that, and having this extra fuel will give me a little bit more leeway in choosing the perfect landing spot. I've decided to set up the staging a little bit differently. You would think I would just disconnect these 4 external booster packs at the same time, but as you can see, I've actually routed the fuel so that these drain into these external tanks, and then these drain into the center. So if I've set things up correctly, 2 of these stages should burn out. I'll drop them away, but then I'll still have 3 engines, so I'll still have that extra thrust of full fuel. And then the other 2 will fall away, and then I'll have this middle stage. So I think that should work. It's a little bit confusing with all the wiring and the struts and the fuel lines, but I think I did this correctly. I'm going to assume these fuel tanks are going to drain pretty quick, but we'll see. Experimental. So let's actually, with our new rocket, the Curiosity 5 Heavy, let's head to the Launchpad. All right, we are here. We have Bill, Jebediah, and Bob Kerman in the seats once again, in the command module once again. It is just after sunrise. Let me find out where everything is located right now. Okay, this is a little bit of a problem. Okay, yeah, because I pretty much left off where that last mission failed, which was just about where the ellipses kind of crossed the elliptic plane. So now when I launch and get into orbit, I'm going to have to aim for Minmus when it's like out here, which is a little bit off the orbital plane, but I think we've done that before, so I think we should be okay. I think I should also, it was pretty good the first time I went to Minmus. I aimed for Minmus just as it was rising. Same way with landing on the moon, wherever that is. There it is. So I think we're all right in that regard. Let's head back to the launch pad. Right now, I'm not going to be concerned about Minmus. I'm not going to be concerned about that trans-Minmus injection. I just want to get into orbit and have a safe liftoff. I have all these random aircraft and things just sitting around. Perhaps I should end those missions so they're not just sitting there. But yeah, here we are. I think our guys are ready. I certainly am. So, with another countdown... Oh, look at how tall this thing is. It's taller than the launch tower. overkill. But yeah, let's give us a countdown and let's go to Minmus once and for all. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Wait a minute. All right. Whoa. Good thing we had our scientists. We have a scrub. Stop the countdown. Scrub this launch. We have identified a staging issue. These hold down struts would have fired at the same time as 2 of our rocket connections. So let's roll back to the VAB. Let's roll back to the VAB and fix that right away. Wow, good thing I noticed that. That would have been a disaster. All right, we want these guys to fire on their own. Yeah, that would have caused all kinds of chaos and mayhem. Woo! All right. Let's save that once again. All right, I think we're all right now. I think we have resolved our issues, so we're ready to roll back to the pad. There we go. All right, staging is set up properly. Whew. That was a close one, guys. That was a close one. Turned on the SAS. Throttled up. Let's go about there. All right, one more time, guys. This is no longer a dress rehearsal. We're ready to go. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Main engine start. And liftoff. I left my speakers on accidentally. Surprised the round sound there. And we are heading off. A little bit shaky. That might have a little bit to do with the fact that we do not have any aero surfaces. So we're solely relying on the gimbaling engines, which seem to be doing just fine. A little bit of overheat warnings. I think we're all right. Let's do a little bit of a tilt. I know that was an issue early on. Our rocket was so powerful that we kind of wasted a lot of our fuel in vertical speed and didn't quite get the orbital speed going soon enough. So there we go. Very nice. Keeping an eye on our fuel. I'm not sure when these other tanks are going to get to fall away. All right, I think these are the last fuel tanks we have, and then we're going to lose 2 of these stages. Gotta go quicker. All right. That's great. All right, and let's hope everything stays stable after staging. Beautifully done. And now we have still these full fuel tanks left. Marvelous job. And actually, we're going to start accelerating quite quickly now. So let's do a little bit more of a tilt over. Stay on that 90-degree mark. Right there, very nice. Gaining altitude. Jeb is happy as usual. Yeah, this is kind of what a Delta V Heavy looks like, because it's like three of the rockets just strapped to each other. I wonder who made that decision. We need a more powerful rocket to lift heavier things. Let's just strap 3 of our normal rockets together. Okay, that works. Alright, very nice. A little bit more of an angle. We'll go to 60 degrees here. Hold that. Very nice, SAS. Beautiful. Actually throttle down a little bit to conserve some of that fuel. So these rockets are very powerful. Once we're out of the atmosphere like we mostly are, really doesn't take that much oomph. As you can see, whoa. Alright, let me actually... Very nice. I do like where we're at. We still have all these 3 fuel tanks in the middle. Are still full of fuel. And we've got an apoapsis of 100 100,000 meters. So I'm going to cut the engines and wait till we get closer to that before we do our orbital insertion burn. I guess I could have got away with even more of an aggressive gravity turn to tilt earlier. But we're all right. I think we've got plenty of fuel. We're right on that 90-degree mark. Where is Minmus right now? I mean, I suppose theoretically I could since it's going to rise right away. Batman. Instead of getting into orbit, I could just shoot straight for Minmus, but I think I'm going to be very conservative here. I'm going to plot the proper course. I'm actually going to have to quickly get into position to do my orbital insertion burn here before I reach the apoapsis. So let me get on the old 90-degree mark. Let's get that a little bit better. And a boop. And here we go. Very nice indeed. I'm very happy with the way things are going. Very cool. It almost seems like I know what I'm doing, but I really don't. So, oh yeah. Very nice looking spacecraft. It's all about the aesthetics. Alright, these stages are about to burn out. Whoa, we're getting a lot of torquing here for some reason. Alright, there they go. Let's say bon voyage. Why are we spinning like we are? Alright, we're okay, I guess. Now that is how staging should work, my friends. Let's... Alright, let's keep an eye on our orbit here. What are we at, about 100 by 100? Yeah, it's probably good. $100 by 103. Not bad of an orbit there. Very pleased indeed. That debris should be coming down in the ocean, or perhaps on this unlikely and unfortunate continent right there. Hopefully it's not too occupied. But yeah, we are in orbit, and we still have 2.5 of these fuel tanks remaining. That is exactly what I like to see. I want to keep another, this stage in order to get me to Minmus. And I don't know, maybe it'll be good enough to slow us down to get into Minmus orbit. Yeah, now I just have to decide when I want to launch. I think that's Minmus right there, because it has a little bit of a different twinkle than the rest of the stars. Yeah, I think that is. I am going to... What are you going to do, Kurt? Yeah, that's like... I still don't have the hang of adjusting the latitude and longitude, the... not necessarily the periapsis and apoapsis, but the ecliptic, I guess you could say, of my orbit. I still am not too good at adjusting. I think, say right now, if I fired my engines pointing south, that the opposite side would go north, I think, is how that works. Which is kind of what I want. And I do indeed do have quite the amount of fuel left in order to even just attempt that. So let's let's attempt that, why don't we? Let's keep an eye on that RCS fuel, though. I only have one tank to spare. I should probably have put some RTS thrusters on this other side to make things a little bit more fast. A little bit more fast, but we'll take a nice lazy maneuver here. It's no rush. We've got plenty of time. Bob and Bill still freaking out. It's all right, guys. Things are actually going as planned. All right, I want to get right on that 180 mark. Okay. Not quite what I wanted. Where are you going? Why are you going the opposite direction that I'd wish you to? All right, hold on. Why am I a little bit out of control? Uh-oh. All right, let's... Hold. Okay. I have a little bit more control when I have the engine on, which is kind of wasting fuel, but at least I can tell it which way to go. All right, let's do right about right there. Hold that. Go back. Go back. All right. All right. Crap. All right. On second thought, I am not going to attempt this orbital adjustment because my rocket is out of control. All right, take it easy, guys. We're all right. I don't know why this is happening. Let's cycle the computers. Oh, I don't have. There's just nowhere to put it. Another one of those other RCS units, the gimbals. Balls. All right, we've dealt with worse. We can deal with this. Oh, I did that actually. That was my fault. Stop. God, what is going on? Stop it. Stop it. All right. Okay. Let's just get back on course here. I know there are bugs with the the physics engine that they use. Sometimes it will just kind of freak out and just be like, nope, things are going to be happening at a far different rate than you anticipate them in terms of real world physics. All right, let's just hold that. Yeah. Gimbal, get us straight. And then cut the engine. All right, I think we're good. We're good now. We kind of did something wonky with our orbit by doing that, but whoa, yeah, really quite wonky. There's Minmus. Let's now that we've got things under control, let's fast forward time, and then I'm gonna wait until I get into just a little bit past sunrise here. I think is when I'll start to actually see Minmus rising over the horizon, and then we can do our Minmus insertion burn, or whatever we want to call it. Indeed. Cannot warp faster than 1 times... There we go, okay. There's a little bit of problems with that. It thought I was accelerating, but I was not accelerating. Physics! Alright, we're back, and I did want to take a few moments to take a look here. There's Minmus out there, and there we are, so we're going to start coming up on the Minmus rise eventually, so I do want to get myself positioned properly, and hopefully I can do this without totally going out of control. I just want to kind of get pointed in the proper direction here. Not the greatest use of my main engine fuel, but it's really the best the best control I have over this spacecraft. Right, hold right there. Yes, that's perfect. Computer, thank you. Stop it. Okay, let's get under control here. Gee. Yep. It's right there is all I need. Stop it. Very nice. Okay. Let's start paying attention. Almost going to get a Minmus rise here. Let's keep our eyes on the prize. Maybe I should kind of face a little bit north, which might send us in that direction, because that is the way. There's the orbit of Minmus. It bends quite north in that direction, so maybe just a little bit. I think I should be able to still get captured by Minmus, but I want to just make sure we're not we're not totally just going to shoot right underneath it. Bill Kerbin has come around, and now he's simply indifferent about his situation. He's neither smile. Oh, there was a little bit of a worried, panicked face there. All right, Minmus, where are you at? You should be rising any moment now. Yeah, man. I think that's it right there. Yeah, it's kind of blinking. All right, let's do this. Like I said, I want to just point just a little bit north. Just a little bit. I don't know where exactly. Right, yeah, hold that right there. That's perfect. Okay. Now let's take a look at our orbit. Not too sure about that north thing, but I guess we'll find out. Doesn't seem to be doing what I anticipated it to be doing. Alright, past the orbit of the moon. Let's slow down. Let's keep an eye. Oh dear. Damn it. Whoa. What's going on? Whoa. Okay. Whoa, I went way too far, didn't I? Oh, crap. I'm actually leaving the solar system. Let us lose control of the spacecraft, apparently. Crap. Hold on. Okay, hold on. This is not what I wanted. Let's, shit. Crap. Alright. God damn it, why is this so difficult? I suppose if I was smart, I would have, fast-forwarded time and waited for a moment when I could actually rendezvous with Minmus on a more even plane. Alright, hold on. I totally want to undo what I just did. And I have zero control over my spacecraft in this situation. Alright, easy. Let's not get too much velocity going on there. Easy. Hold that. Okay, whoa. Okay. Now we have an orbit that isn't so crazy. What can I do? See, that went like the opposite way. Maybe I should be pointing south, and that'll bring that up. Let's try it. We're already drifting in that direction anyways. No, that's north. Right, whoa, 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 with the speed at which I'm doing this. Right there, right there, right there, right there. Hold that, thank you. What does that do? That does nothing for us. Oh, it's going south. What are you doing? Alright, let's face north. Yes, Bill and Bob, now's the time to panic. Everybody discounts those other SAS modules that are basically gimbals, but I'm starting to think everybody's incorrect because my overuse of them before was actually quite helpful. Slow down. Alright, that's what I want. That right there, stop it. Hold that thought. Alright, what is this doing for us? Not totally what we wanted. Let's get a little bit north. Alright, stop it, stop it, stop it. God, this spacecraft is impossible to control. Okay. Hold. Okay. Alright, that's tilting upwards. What is this? What is this? What is this orbit? Kerbin escape, not what I want. But it looks like we're actually tilting up towards Minmus, so if I can do this properly, and then simply adjust the orbit, the periapsis, then I should be in line. Alright, let's cut the engines right there. Okay, now we just want to do simple, what we've done so many times before, simple orbit adjustment. Which way am I heading here? So much for having this entire stage in order to get me to Minmus. Alright, let's, that's the way I want to go. God, these RCS thrusters are completely useless with this rocket. No, I don't want to really do too much of that. I just want to get pointed in the direction. Jebediah, just get out and push. This rocket. Oh, I wonder if that would work, actually. That's something I could try. Send them out on EVA, and then with their rocket packs, kind of push the rocket around. Very dangerous, but when you're desperate. Right there. Okay. No, actually, damn it, I wanted to do the opposite of such things. Let's... Oh, god damn it. Let's see what the RCS... No. I want, that. What will that do? B? No, N. Okay. Not enough. Screw it. Save the RCS. Let's, try to flip ourselves around once again. Since I am pointing in the wrong direction, I wanted to slow myself down, not speed myself up. Very nice. Alright, this is what I want happening right here. Alright, down to our last fuel tank here. Alright. Now we're overshooting it over the top of Minmus. Dang it. Alright, let's see what this does. Okay. Will I at any point intersect Minmus there? Ah! Very nice. Whew! Okay, I can bring that down a little bit, probably. All right, yeah. I like this. This is pretty good. I'm not going to hit Minmus. I'm going to come within 200,000 meters, which is fine. If I tap it one more time, I feel like I'm going to go on a collision course. Okay. Wow, that's like spot on. All right. Whew. Well done, guys. As in, well done, me. I thought I was going to have to scrap this whole mission. Quick save. Cannot save while ship is under acceleration. It's not under acceleration. There we go. For some reason, having the SAS enabled thinks it's under acceleration. Okay, finally, we are at a proper, actually near perfect orbital rendezvous with Minmus. After a few hairy situations there, we've somehow haphazardly and accidentally figured out how to adjust the inclination of our orbit. That's the word I was looking for, inclination and declination and I don't know, something else-ation. But yeah, we are now on a path to Minmus, so I will see you when we get there. Indeed.